Hello everyone, welcome to Dundas Dashboard How-To videos. This video will show you how you can create a data connector in Dundas Dashboard and connect to the SQL Server data source. So to create the data connector, go to the Design Explorer in your project and go to the Data Connectors folder. Click on the menu and click on New Data Connector. Here give your data connector a suitable name. Once you do this, you can see that the new data connector appears as an item in the Design Explorer, and the data connector designer is displayed in the content area of the application. To configure these settings, enter a brief description of your data connector. This can be a maximum up to 2000 word text. In the additional info URL, enter the URL of the website that may provide more information about your data connector. The Connect As option is useful if you want to avoid having to grant data source permissions to the IIS users separately or to the user under which the scheduler service is running. If you want to use the Connect As option, then click on Connect As and choose the login method. You have two choices. The Login on Dundas Dashboard Server option will let you use the Windows user credentials that you supply to log in locally on the Dundas Dashboard Server. This is the default setting. You supply your username, domain, and password. The relay credentials is used when the Windows user credentials that you supply will be used for network connections without impersonation. The Windows user you specified here will not be required to log in locally on the Dundas Dashboard server. For this example, we will not use the Connect As option and we'll use the IIS user. In my case, it's the network service. Here you will select the provider, which is the data source. In this example, it's the Microsoft SQL Server. It supports 2005 and above. If you have any other data source, then you can click on this drop-down list and select the data source from this list. The command timeout specifies the maximum number of seconds to wait until the first row of data is returned from the database. This is useful if you have dashboards that result in long-running database queries. Then you may want to increase this value in order to avoid timeout errors during the dashboard viewing. In this section, you'll enter the server name. To do that, click on this box, which initiates the discovery of all the servers in your network. You can either choose your server from the drop-down list that appears, or you can enter your server name manually in this box. In this example, my dashboard instance and the SQL server are located on the same machine, so I'm going to use the local host. This section will let you choose the kind of authentication that you want to connect to your SQL server. If you want to use Windows authentication, then use Windows Integrated Security, or if you want to use SQL Server authentication, then use SQL Server Security and enter the username and password. In this example, I'm going to use Windows authentication to connect to my SQL server, so I select Windows Integrated Security option. The next step is to select the database name that you want to connect to. To do this, click on the box which initiates the discovery of all the databases located on the server that you have specified. To select a database, either select it from the drop-down list that appears, or you can also enter the database name manually if you know. There are also advanced connection options that you can configure if you have very specific requirements for your connection. You can get a description of each of these settings on our support site. If you want to cache your data, then go to the Caching tab and select either Memory Caching or Sync Database Caching. Memory caching stores the data results in memory on the server or client after initial data retrieval. And Sync Database Caching is used to store the data into the local sync database on a specified schedule, and the sync database is queried every time a data result is requested. The caching increases and improves the performance of your dashboard. It's also applicable in cases in which permanent connections to the data sources are not permitted. In this example, I'm not going to use any caching, so I'm going to leave it as it is. So once you're all set, click on Test Connection. This is to make sure that all the data connector configuration settings have been set correctly. So once this test connection is successful, click on Save. This would initiate the discovery of the data structures within your database. Click on Yes to discover all the data structures. These include all the tables, views, functions, and stored procedures that are present in your database. So once you have successfully saved the data connector, to check whether all the data structures have been discovered, go to your data connector and expand it. Here you can see the tables, views, functions, and stored procedures. If you want to see what data structures are present in tables, then expand the tables. And you can see all the tables present in your database have been discovered. If you want to preview any one of them, then click on its menu and click on View. Here you can see the definition of the table with the description of each column names. If you want to preview the table, go to the Preview tab and click on Refresh. So the data has been queried from the database and is getting displayed in the data connector. You can also do the same for views, functions, as well as stored procedures. Just a quick note, you can also discover data structures from the menu option of the data connector, or you can also discover tables, views, functions, and stored procedures separately from their respective menus. This discovery is useful if there has been any change in your data structures. For example, a new table has been added, or for example, if the structure of the tables itself have been changed. You can also view a full list of all the tables present in your data connector. To do this, go to Tables and go to its menu and click on View Full List. So as you can see, this gives a full list of all the tables present in your data connector and a brief description of each table. If you click on any of them, you can also get the individual columns present in each of the tables. If you're looking for more information on how to create a data connector, then go to the support site pages seen on your screen. These will give you more information on the steps that we discussed, including how to create the connection, how to create a connection to SQL Server, how to test a data connection, how to discover data structures, and how to cache data. If you have any questions, feel free to visit our support site at support.dundas.com or contact Dundas Support at the contact information shown on your screen. Thank you for watching.